Hi, this is Nathan with Panama Relocation Tours. We have Al and Linda Card. Al and Linda, can you tell us where you're living currently?
We live in David in Cherokee Province.
Great. And how long have you been living in Panama?
Well, we'll be here 5 years in May. We arrived in 2009.
2009? Great. And how have you enjoyed your time here so far?
Well, it's been an adjustment, of course. Anytime you move to another country, it is. But we've adopted well, and we're really enjoying where we live.
Great. And so you've done some of the tours with Jackie, Linda. What do you think about what the tour provides in terms of a potential expat wanting to move here with regard to all of the information that they encounter, culturally, setting expectations and things of that nature?
Well, I do think that Jackie's tour is, if not unique, certainly very special and different because it doesn't focus on any one particular area, or it doesn't try to sell anybody anything. The whole intent of the tour is to give our guests an idea of what it's actually like to live in Panama in various different locations, starting in Panama City and then heading west across the country all the way to Volcan. So it's very special in that respect, and I think it's very helpful for people that might be considering moving here because they get to actually talk to people who have already done it. So they get that first-hand experience, and when we meet with expats who are living here, it's totally unscripted. We don't tell them, you have to say this, you have to say that. We ask them, tell us the truth and share your experiences, so they're getting an unbiased view.
So what drew you to David in particular?
Well, we wanted to be in a more of a populated area, right?
Well, personally, I like the city of Panama better. Not better, but I did like it while we were living there. But one of the reasons we moved to Cherokee is because it's more like living in the country. It's agricultural and cattle raising and food raising, produce and stuff for the country. So it's more laid back and lots greener.
Less stressful?
Yeah, it's less stressful.
Right.
And where did you guys move here from?
We moved here from Guatemala.
Great. And do you, between the two of them, where do you find yourself more at home? Do you find yourself more at home here, or did you enjoy Guatemala more?
We enjoyed Guatemala a lot. It's a very beautiful country. But the reason we moved here has to do with our search for political stability in Central America. Because we've lived in Guatemala, Nicaragua, and been to all the other countries in Central America, plus Panama. And Panama seemed to be the more stable of all the countries.
And it's really kind of apples and oranges comparing Guatemala and Panama, because when we were in Guatemala, we were living aboard a sailboat in Rio Dulce, and there's a huge sailing cruisers community there, which is in itself a very, very extraordinary experience. And Guatemala is a very scenically beautiful country, and the indigenous people are very, very colorful. So it's a very different experience from being here.
Do you have any advice for people moving to Panama in the future? Is there anything in particular you recommend that they have to do or have to see?
Well, personally, my recommendation would be that they come down here with the time to spend and rent a place for a month or more before they buy anything. Because we have known people that have come down here, spent a lot of money as soon as they got here for a house, and then 2 months later decide they didn't like it and put their house on the market to move back to where they came from. So if they had rented, so to speak, and then found out that they didn't really like living here, then they could have left without having to wait around to sell their home.
Right, I definitely echo that. And the other advantage to renting is that you can move from one location to another. There's some other folks with us here today who are in the process of doing that. They've decided to rent for approximately 6 months at a time in different locations throughout the country, and that way they can decide on what place suits them best.
And all the while they're still working towards their visas, and that you're not tied to a fixed residence, so it doesn't slow any of that down.
Right. Excuse us.
So, well, thank you very much. I appreciate it. Thanks for your time, and thanks, Linda. Always a pleasure to have you with the tours, and we'll be in touch.
Okay,
Thanks.
thanks Nathan.